In all of world cinema, there was really nothing quite like the explosion of filmmaking creativity that was Hong Kong from the early 80s to the mid-90s. Today, still best known as the breeding ground for the modern martial arts genre, a confluence of social and economic factors across these decades led the prolific local film industry to step further than ever outside the historical melodramas that had defined so much of their earlier output, resulting in some of the most vibrantly original action, war, horror, and miscellaneous films ever released. Were they all good? No, not even close. But they are all fascinating. Case specifically in point, this week's genre-defying 1986 action-adventure, horror, fantasy, nonsense epic, The Seventh Curse. But first, very briefly, this film was never widely released in the West apart from home video and as such has been subject to multiple English translations of varying quality. As I am not a fluent speaker of Mandarin or Cantonese, it is possible that I may have not properly interpreted certain plot details or misunderstood certain cultural references. While I have made effort to mitigate this through research, I nonetheless hope that any errors on my part are not taken as a sign of disrespect for Hong Kong or for Chinese culture. Nobody can say I don't put the work in. Anyway. The Seventh Curse is a loose adaptation of two shared universe sci-fi adventure mystery novel series by prolific Hong Kong-based author Ni Kuang, the Wisely series and the Dr. Yuan series, the former of which is the more popular and frequently adapted of the two, though in this specific case the film is mainly a Dr. Yen adventure, in which Wisely plays a supporting part. Chin Siu-ho has the lead as Dr. Yen, a brilliant world-famous medical doctor, scientist, inventor, adventurer, detective, crime fighter who, despite being Earth's most powerful nerd, is also a super wealthy playboy who drives awesome sports cars, lives in a sweet luxury apartment, goes to fancy parties, gets laid all the time, and is a master of the martial arts. Yeah, in case you were under the impression that it was only white dudes who kept creating characters exactly like this. Chow Yun-fat does the special guest star thing as Wisely, who is pretty much the same guy, but also he knows about ghost stuff and is somehow even more awesome. Since this is Hong Kong in the mid-80s, we open with a heavily armed police shootout wherein outmatched cops call in Dr. Yen to take point on a mission because in this universe that makes sense.
一向都有心脏病，为什么一定要找我？是这样的。 我们知道袁医生有很多冒险事迹，胆色过人。
Things are complicated when a nosy and hilariously inept reporter played by Maggie Cheung knocks out a female officer to take her place in disguise in order to score an interview with Yen, because, yeah, this is Hong Kong in the mid-80s, so female characters are either consummate badasses or comic relief sexist caricatures, and she is the second one. On the other hand, Cheung was one of the great Chinese comedy stars of her era, so she does what she can with it. In the main plot, Dr. Yen is being plagued by a mysterious blood disease that turns out to be a curse related to an adventure several years ago in the uncharted jungles of Thailand. Oh yeah, in Hong Kong movies of this era, Thailand is basically Asian Transylvania, where he rescued a native girl from being offered up to the zombie god of the evil worm tribe, who require human sacrifice in order to... just watch. Let's have a hand for that full-sized rod puppet / cable marionette skeleton, huh? That sequence had to be a pain in the ass to stage. In any case, Yen got away, obviously since this is a flashback, but the whole rest of his crew got massacred. The blood disease curse thought to have been cured by the native girl he saved, but according to Yen's best friend Dr. Wisely, it only managed to delay the curse, and now he's only got 5 days to go back and destroy the worm tribe once and for all in order to save himself and the girl, who is now magically disfigured. And, you know, presumably everyone else in Thailand, but as you'll soon see, this movie has kind of a blasé attitude about collateral damage. Also, Maggie Cheung is coming along because she's Wisely's cousin. What? And he can't go right away, and her daddy's rich, so she...
不太平。总而言之，他有一张没有限额的金卡给我用就行了。哼。
That turns out to be useful because once arriving in Thailand, they discover that Aquala, the sorcerer who runs the worm tribe, has abducted the children of a peaceful village, hey, wait a second, because he requires a mass child sacrifice to power up his magical weapon, the little ghost.
这是神的旨意，但是我们从来没试过。
Our heroes aren't super concerned about this for some reason until they get wrapped up in some booby traps and Maggie Chung gets captured and now it's a rescue mission.
啊，你一定是这里的大老板，你真是个大好人。我先走了，拜拜。我是来采集标本的。哇，你这么英明神武，我替你拍张照啊！去你的！
Though she ends up briefly possessed anyway, Wisely and his wife Sue, who I think is also supposed to be some kind of good witch herself maybe, finally show up, sure, because there aren't too many characters in this already, and set about curing her while Yan and one of his Thai buddies set off to steal magic ashes to cure various curses from some Buddhist monks. Only to find that it's time once again to save everyone from the worm tribe and zombie god sacrifice, which goes a little bit off the rails this time. Fortunately, Sue shows up having gained control over Little Ghost and sicks it on the monster.
放小鬼！
Which is followed by Wisely remembering that he's being played by Chow Yun-fat and setting the whole situation right with a rocket launcher. So that happened. Seventh Curse was written and produced by notorious Hong Kong schlockmeister Wong Jing, the ultra-prolific mega-producer responsible for City Hunter and Future Cops, and a career turning point for cinematographer-turned-director Lam Ngai Kai, aka Simon Nam, still probably best known to Western audiences for The Story of Ricky, and in Hong Kong cinema history for the adults-only hit erotic ghost story, filmed the same year as Seventh Curse but not released until 3 years later, which helped make a superstar out of Amy Yip and kickstarted the softcore supernatural craze in the country that culminated in the infamous Sex and Zen. The film is somewhat typical of Hong Kong supernatural thrillers of its day, inasmuch as it's completely out of its mind and seems to be making shit up as it goes along, but the sheer scale of it is really something else. This was about 10 years prior to Hong Kong's handover from British colonial to mainland Chinese rule, and the Hong Kong film industry spent that decade expending resources like they thought the world was coming to an end. Definitely worth seeking out for fans of bizarro world cinema.
哎，傻瓜，我还以为追不上你呢。
One more Schlocktober down, 3 more to go. Next week, we're going back to the good old US of A.
放心好啦，我在美国念书的时候啊，看过很多有关越战杀人机关的书呢。
Hey gang, here's a question that keeps coming up. If your handle is MovieBob, where are your movie reviews? Well, my old reviews are in a lot of places. You'll find many of them on my YouTube channel, but you'll find the brand new ones on Geek.com, an awesome site that's also your one-stop news source for science, TV, gaming, technology, nerd culture, the works. You can find all my reviews directly by going to geek.com/author/bchipman, because that's my real name, and you can get regular updates on all my reviews and all of Geek.com's other great content by signing up for their kick-ass newsletter at subscribe.geek.com. And don't forget to also subscribe to the Geek.com YouTube channel, where you'll find the videos that accompany my reviews and tons of other great content too. Remember, that's Geek.com, the Geek.com newsletter, and Geek.com on YouTube. Make sure you don't miss out on all the latest MovieBob reviews. You can also check out my own new website, MovieBob Central, where you'll find my blog, links to all my work, and shop for my books, ebooks, and future MovieBob products. And please remember to like these videos, share them with all of your friends, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching another MovieBob production.